Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Plow crews in Flathead County just finished clearing the roads from the last winter storm, but now a new storm is expected to drop more snow on northwest Montana. But as MTN's Nicole Miller reports, the recent snow melt helped plow crews get a leg up.
The Arctic cold we saw over New Year's passed, warmer air settled in. The snowpack saw a January thaw. But don't pack away your earmuffs and shovels yet. More snow is expected to arrive to the Flathead and Mission Valleys.
This one, while it does look like it could be a little bit warmer storm, maybe a little more moisture in the snow in the mid-20s, high 20s, that can make for some pretty wet, heavy snow, but will be much better than what we went through over the New Year's holiday with the wind.
Flathead County Public Works Director David Prunty says while the storm brought school closures due to impassable roads, this storm is less likely to cause such headaches.
Snowfall without the wind is a lot easier to handle, and we don't have any issues with needing for closures or people getting stuck near as bad in drifting snow.
Prunty says melts like the one we're seeing help.
What we've been doing with these warmer temperatures is really kind of cleaning up. The paved roads from the last storm are in pretty darn good shape now. We've scraped it off. Mother Nature's melted it for us.
And with Mother Nature expected to bring snow to the region, Prunty says the community's patience is appreciated.
Give the plows, give the motor graders some time. It'll help out for us to get things cleaned up and as safe for all the traveling public as we can do.
Nicole Miller, MTN News, Kalispell.
And Prunty says that the plow crews will be out at 5:30 a.m. at any time this week if they are needed. And we saw the beginning of this wet weather pattern in northwest Montana today, and it is likely to continue through the rest of the week, prompting a winter weather watch for parts of the region. For more, let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost, who has a look at our first forecast. Aaron.
You know, there will be a potential for those snow plows to be out tomorrow morning throughout the day tomorrow, but an even greater potential throughout the day on Thursday, lingering into Friday. This is a look at our radar over the past few hours. Snowy passes, I should say, out there as we continue to see mountain snow and valley rain. We do have winter weather advisories in place until 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for the West Glacier region, a little lifted earlier for the Potomac and Seeley Lake region, but this is just for round one, the one we're seeing right now. We've got that other bigger system set to move in, and a few winter storm watches already been posted. We've got more details on the way.
Thank you, Aaron. And with that sloppy mix of precipitation in the forecast, ponding water due to rapid snowmelt, poor drainage, and clogged culverts are all cause for concern. However, in the big picture, one hydrologist says that this mild, wet pattern is ideal. Meteorologist Russ Thomas reports.
After a dry early December, true La Nina weather conditions have taken over. Several moist weather systems have brought mountain and valley snow along with periods of rain and freezing rain. While valley roads are turning into a mess, National Weather Service hydrologist Ray Nicholas says this is exactly the weather pattern we want to see following a very dry summer.
It's good news. I mean, we're adding moisture to the mountains for the snowpack because it's going to mean, good flows in the rivers. Even right now, we're about normal, in some places a little bit above normal with our flows.
In addition to good river flows, the warmer temperatures in recent days have alleviated some of the concern of ice jams that were building during our recent stretch of cold days.
We've had some ice in the rivers, but right now we're seeing with this little bit of warmth actually a lot of the water cutting through that ice, and that's a good situation too.
Nicholas says if the temperatures took a bigger spike, flooding at low levels would be more of concern, but we haven't seen that kind of jump.
Having this little bit of warmth now, it's nothing great. We'll be in the 30s still, but it'll cause a little bit of melting here in the low elevations. This ponding of water, it'll just make things kind of sloppy.
The long-range forecast heading into the next 2 weeks projects generally near to slightly above normal temperatures and at to above normal precipitation. The longer conditions like this persist, the more likely we are to have ideal river flows and snowmelt conditions during the spring months. Russ Thomas, MTN News, Missoula.
And Nicholas says that this La Nina winter is much closer to normal than the snowy, frigid winter that we experienced last year. The Flathead Avalanche Center says the warm and wet system will increase avalanche danger this week. The danger will rise during the week and mostly affect the Swan, Whitefish, and Flathead ranges. The danger currently sits at moderate, but the center believes that it will grow to considerable through the week with new snow accumulation and gusts of wind creating weak snowpack. The center says that weak layers are still lurking in the deep snowpack and that they are advising that all backcountry enthusiasts stay conservative in their adventures for the rest of the week. And a push is underway to save an iconic building in Whitefish that is on the National Register of Historic Places, but if a buyer cannot be found, the building could be torn down. The historical Frank Lloyd Wright building on Central Street is one of the only structures designed by the famous architect in the state of Montana. It was one of the last buildings that he designed before passing away in 1959. In that same year, the building opened as a medical clinic. In recent years, the building has been used for law offices, but plans are underway to demolish the historic building. The owner has agreed to sell it for $1.7 million, but that offer must be received by tomorrow. If a buyer cannot be found, the building is set to be demolished, making it the first viable Frank Lloyd Wright designed building to be lost in more than 40 years. Kalispell Public School officials have approved a plan to redraw school district lines to accommodate a new elementary school. It was put to a vote tonight during a Board of Trustees meeting. There have been multiple public meetings over the last few months to reach a plan for the new boundaries that are set to accommodate Jeanette Rankin Elementary School opening this year. Board members say rezoning is necessary to reduce overcrowding and plan for future growth within the district. The board weighed 5 different options, leading them to the 6th draft of this plan, and the board unanimously approved it and will move forward with this as their frame of reference. But Superintendent Mark Floteau says that it could change and it is not set in stone.
Everybody's going to be breathing a little lighter in regards to the fact that, we'll actually have spaces open for small group instruction, and in the case of several of our schools, we don't have to use custodial closets to, for small group instruction.
And he said that the plan will be completed and the school will be ready to open this fall. University of Montana Interim President Sheila Stearns is sending a big thank you to all faculty, administrators, and students as she finishes her assignment this week and prepares to return to retirement. Stearns spent the last year running UM, helping the school to navigate through tricky budget adjustments and laying the foundation for her successor, new UM President Seth Bodnar. She tells us that it's been a lot of fun to be back on the campus transitioning into the future.
I do a little bit of traveling around the country, or I did when I was previously retired, where I help with governing boards of colleges and universities, and this has given me a really up-to-date insight into the obstacles and in the foxhole, in the trenches, challenges of colleges and universities in this day and age. Everything is more complex in our society, but universities are too.
And Stearns, who previously served as UM's vice president and as Montana Commissioner of Higher Education, was tasked with several challenges, from ordering cuts to bring spending more in line with enrollment, trying to build momentum for recruiting new students, and finishing off major building projects. And she's quick to give credit to everyone who lent their support.
Dennis, I have a huge thanks to so many people I couldn't even begin to list them. So many people wanted to help, have helped. It's just been amazing how much support there is for the University of Montana. So huge thank you for all of that reservoir of affection and goodwill for the university and for our students and for me.
And Stearns says that she and her husband plan to do some traveling, and she would like to do some writing, reading, and spend time with her family. 3 years after their arrest for a standoff with federal agencies in the Nevada grazing dispute, Cliven Bundy, his sons, and a Montana man are free to go after a federal judge dismissed the charges in Las Vegas. Bundy faced a number of charges, but the judge threw them out Monday for flagrant misconduct by prosecutors, saying that the government's conduct had been outrageous. The charges were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they cannot be filed again. Also released was Ryan Payne of Anaconda, a Montana militia member. However, Payne still faces sentencing for pleading guilty for his role in an armed standoff at an Oregon wildfire refuge 2 years ago. And just ahead, Aaron has the forecast for the next storm system moving into western Montana, and later big news for CBS as they find a replacement for Charlie Rose on CBS This Morning. That's coming up.